In a minute, Chris is going to tell you a little story. And what you need to be doing during this is visualising as much as possible and be thinking about how the things that you're hearing can be represented in sound. That can be any type of sound. That can be a sung sound. It can be a sound with, I'm just setting some boundaries, I'm trying to not influence you. It can be a sound that has lyrics associated to it, so it could be song. It could be some kind of percussive thing involving bits of your body, clapping, clicking, stamping. It could be some other sound that you make with the motivation of breath. We do a lot of those kind of things in warm up. All of those things. Nothing is off limits. Okay? Nothing is off the full range of noises, within reason, of noises that you can make vocally and body percussion, all of those kind of things. They're all very valid. You need to be thinking when you're listening to a story about what images are being conjured and how you might represent those in sound. Is that fair enough? That's good. So, what we will then do is I will then, to bring some order to chaos, I will perform the role of the creator in the most minimalist sense. I will provide a pulse. I'm not going to say anything more about that pulse, I will just provide one. That's going to be my role in this. I'm going to motivate the timing, as it were. And after a count or so, we'll decide what you're all going to make your noises at the same time. It's like the moment of creation, just everything all at one go. So you don't have to be embarrassed. You can nick something that someone else is doing. As much as you can, don't do that. And then we will start to unpick from there. But that's as far as we're going to go now. Okay. So do you want to now?
Is it just one?
We're going to do three. So
just one noise.
Each of the next two, this week, next week, the week after, we're going to do 3 separate ones. They're all going to be slightly different. So it gives us an opportunity. This week it might be completely disastrous. It might be different. Next week it might be the other way around. Doesn't matter. It's just an experiment just to see whether this works, whether anything comes of it. So I don't want anyone to have any pressure about this at all. It's just, we'll see what comes of it. So
do you just want us to make one sound? Each make one sound, or we can make any sorts of sounds?
You need to decide from what you hear, what you want to represent and how you would do that. I'm not going to say anything more.
So you want us to repeat the sound that we choose?
You could do that, yes.
Or just say it once?
That would be one way of doing it. To repeat it would be certainly one very good way of doing it.
Up to you.
But it is up to you.
All right, okay.
How long should it last? I mean, how long do we
These are decisions that you're going to make. All I'm providing is the pulse. Yeah. And try and think as well as in a linear way. We often think about things occupying a certain amount of time from the start. Not all things need to begin at the start, do they? That's not how music works either. So I just want you to have that in your mind, but I don't want to say anything
We
else.
are being a little bit cryptic because if we give you too many ideas at the start, then we're imposing them. And the idea is it's a collaboration, so it's coming from you. So that's the idea. So I'll give you the little stories. I say stories, it's sort of like a 1-minute lecture. Sorry, but there we go. Okay, so we're probably all familiar with the story of how Isaac Newton was sitting under a tree in 1666 when an apple fell and maybe struck him on the head. What we're perhaps not so familiar with is what precisely he learned. His moment of inspiration showed him that the mundane, commonplace falling of an apple is directly connected to the celestial movement of the moon and the planets. He realised that if he dropped the apple, it would fall straight towards the centre of the earth. If he threw the apple, it would follow a curved path, a parabola. If he threw it fast enough, which is over 25,000 miles per hour, if he threw it that fast, it would keep going over the horizon, and it would keep falling, and it would fall over the horizon and keep falling, and keep falling, and keep falling, until eventually it would hit him on the back of its head. It would go all the way around the world. His insight was that the movement of the moon is the same as the movement of that apple. They are both falling around the earth. Using the mathematics of his insight alone, we got to the moon, and we got a lot further. The most distant object made by humanity is Voyager 1, which is currently 20 billion kilometres away, and in the minute it's taken me to give this little talk, it's travelled a further 1,000 kilometres. That's moving pretty fast. But we know exactly where it is, totally thanks to Newton. Thank you.
Yes.
Didn't realise it was going to be such a learning process. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to establish a pulse. I hope that from what Chris has just said there, you've got some ideas, whether it was a word you picked up that particularly stood out to you, whether it's a sound that you've associated to one of the images that was given to us there. Has everyone got something? Fab. So I'm just going to set up a pulse. And I'm going to set up that pulse so that you can see how what you've got might fit to that. And I just want you to keep it in your head for now. Okay? And then we'll just do that for now. So if I just give you a pulse first of all, so just in your head, you can experiment a little bit. Try and keep it quiet. We don't want to give too much away. If I just give you... Got somewhere? Yeah? Good. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to count in 1, 2, 3, 4. And after I've done that, I want to start, and you all make your noises at the same time, as many times or as few times as you so desire, until I stop this. And what I want you to do is, while you're making your noises and seeing how it fits, be listening out for how what you're doing might be similar or complementary to some of the things that are going on around you, and also how they might be modified then, but don't do that yet. Also listen to the different types of things that are being done. So I'll just count you in. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So immediately, the onus is on you here. There were some very distinct groups of things going on there. What to you was the largest number of people were doing something very similar indeed to my ear. What was that?
Squawking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so, and that to you was falling.
Yeah,
That's
that's
interesting.
yes.
Okay, so we've all arrived at the same place for falling, that idea of falling. So there were the most number of people in the room were actually, who was, just out of interest, doing something that linked to the idea of falling. Yeah, right? And there was a cohort of people over here as well. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, so let's hold on to that. We're going to keep that as it is. What I'm going to do now is, let's just hear that in isolation. If you were a falling person, I'm going to set up, I'm going to count you in. Nobody else, if you weren't a falling person, keep stum and listen. Just listen to them. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ow! Ow! Plop! Ow! Ow! Plop!
Very good. Okay. Who in the room had some text, lyrics? Sort of. What were they?
I was singing Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly Me to the Moon. Awesome.
Plop!
Plop.
Bing.
Bing. We had
Saying ow.
ow. We had ow over here, and then we had repeated ow, ow, ow.
Wow, wow.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
I
wow.
think that's text.
So that's text. That's text. Who else? Ding.
I said, aha, wow.
Right. Dong. So we had ding and donk. That's exactly where my brain went when he said about the apple, yeah?
Oh my god.
Any more? So after 4, can I hear just the people who were text, if you had lyrics? So any of the people that just put their hands up there? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow, 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 wow. Ow.
good. Right. So let's try and unpick a couple more things. Will there anyone tell me who anyone didn't fit that mode? Yep.
I was singing the first few bars of Santana's She's Not There.
Right. Deep. Yeah.
Not singing, but
I was just making sound whoosh.
Whoosh.
The count of three.
Okay, whoosh. So sort of. Okay, so yeah. Beep. Okay. Anyone else? Yep.
In addition to the percussion noise, I just had a thing just going on and on and on through space.
Fine. Okay. So what I want to do now is, if you were a person that wasn't a falling sound, and you weren't a texting person, you were one of the other noises. After 4, please. 1, 2, 3, 4. And stop. Very good. Okay, fantastic. So you've heard 3 groups of things there. What I want you to do is, I want you to decide as a group which ones should stay and which ones should go. Because this is your creative process, not mine alone. You've got to come to this as a group exercise. So what do you definitely want to keep? Interesting. Okay, shh. Shh. Because what we'll do now is we'll take those ideas and we're going to divide up. I would like to keep the falling noise. That for me is, I'd like to keep that. So let's say we'll have 4 things which we're going to have that are going to tell this story in this soundscape. So we've got falling, and we've got, what are our other 2?
I like the singing sort of things, like Fly Me to the Moon and the twanging from behind here.
Okay.
I like the plot.
The plot.
Sorry?
I like the plot.
That won't be the falling, the plot.
The other one I would like, we can have 5. Let's say we'll have 5. The other one I'd like to keep is, I'd like to keep this.
Agreed.
Because what is quite, it's not unique in the group, but what's quite remarkable about what she's doing? She's syncopated, spot on. She's syncopated. She's one of the very few people who's doing something that's off the beat. The rest of you are feeling very, very, very linear about this. And she's thought, hang on, I can fit the gap here. Actually, that's a little bit more jazz creeping in there. Okay, so I want to keep that, I want to keep the falling. So let's just divide. Let's say you guys over here, you're going to be falling. Then we don't need to revise falling. We all know what that sounds like. Can you teach this little group here what yours is? If I give you a count of 4, just join in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
I've forgotten it now.
Ow! Ooh. Ow! Ooh. Ow! Ooh. Ow!
Very nice. Okay, you've got that? Do you want a few more people on that? Are you okay? Confident? Okay. And what can we have? Can we have? Hang on. So who have we got over here? We've got. What were the other things we said we wanted? Plot. Did we say we wanted? Right. You can be plot. So can you just, who was plot? You? Who was plop over here?
I was plop.
Can you just demonstrate? Can you demonstrate how it goes?
I just went, plop.
Okay, so if I give you a count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good, right, so we've got falling, plop, ow, and what are we going to do over here? Can you teach me?
Yeah, it was for a count of 3 and then a break for the last one.
Very nice. Okay, so if you just demonstrate that, Trevor, if I give you a count of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Join in when you've got it. Very good. So what can we do now to try and bring some order from the chaos is let's do all of those at the same time. Now we've narrowed down. We've got...
We're not doing
You're not doing anything. What other one did we like?
It's the singing one, wasn't
The singing one. Yes. Right. Do you reckon you can make Fly Me to the Moon fit?
Yeah.
Yeah?
If I could do words beyond the first line.
Okay. Yeah, you could just do the first line on loop.
And let me play among the stars.
You've got a tricky thing here because we're in 4 and that melody is in 3. But if you can make it work, I should be very impressed. It will work.
Just make breath.
But I'm not. But you have to decide. Do you want to just try it? Can you choose a pitch for us? 1, 2, 3, and. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. You've got to fit your 4. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Very good, right, okay, so we've made that bit. So what we're going to do now is everyone on 4, do your sounds and let's see what we get from there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. So to bring some order to this now, what could we do now? So we've got five bits of music, 5 ideas working together. What could we do now? We could do it as a round. We could do that as a round. What else could we do?
You could bring in one, set the scene with one, and then maybe add on another, and have them come off, and another one, well, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. So you could play around with that. So we're imposing a structure now. I like the idea of that structure. So I think let's go with that. Okay, we're going to do that. So now here's a decision. Your aim has been to tell the story that you heard. So in which order does everything come in? The fall comes first.
No, the fall, that fall. Yeah, so that's the kind of fall.
That fall.
The plot.
So that's right, fine. So that fall comes first. So you're going to be first to come in. Yeah?
Oh, yes,
And then what's and then the worship is throwing it around the world. So so there's
the hours first.
right, so plop, owl.
Owl should be last because that's the hitting on the head.
Right. It's the beginning and the end. Well, it's your decision. Where do you want it, guys?
Let's have it at the end.
Want it at the end? Or it could come in. It could come in and it could go out. I like that. Okay, here's an idea. So I think that's a great idea. So let's take that idea. We'll have the plop, and then we're going to bring you guys in because that's the initial. Okay. And then we might fade you guys out, so you just need to watch me. Then what's next in the narrative? The falling. So 1, 2, 3.
And then Fly Me to the Moon last.
And then whoosh. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But 2, you're going to drop out at some point and then come back in. Shall we just so we can maybe have a bit more energy and a bit more volume? Let's stand up. Great exercising ensemble there. Okay. So on to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I've got to bring you out at some point. Remember to do this. So I'm going to jump in there, okay? like that structure? Yeah? Do you want to do it once again? Now that's a practice. Okay, so now a proper performance. So you guys over here, if I can suggest one thing, don't drop out until I tell you. Okay? Do you like that structure? Do you think it should work differently? Because actually, the reason I went for that is that was the end point of your little mini lecture. Yeah? Okay, let's try that again then. Okay, so let's bring up the energy and bring up the volume so he gets a really good recording so he can relay this madness. Okay, let's try it. Let's have some quiet. Do you want a quick revise? No, you're all right?
Thank you very much.
Have a seat, everyone. Well done.
That was fun.